How is it even possible that UK news shows are wholly failing to get across to viewers that the government's Rwanda bill actually seeks to disapply human rights, that it will put the UK in breach of its international legal obligations, that it's a shameless power grab that will put the government above the law and sets a dangerous precedent which could put all our rights at risk?
Are you prepared to breach international law in order to get those rights off?
So look, if you're asking me, are there circumstances in which I will ignore Rule 39s, and the answer is clearly yes.
It's absolutely shocking. But that was the UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak announcing at a press conference that he's willing to break international law by ignoring Rule 39 orders which are issued by the European Court of Human Rights on an exceptional basis where there is a real risk of serious and irreversible harm. The President of the European Court of Human Rights responded with this.
There is a clear legal obligation under the Convention for states to comply with Rule 39 measures. The legal basis for this is principally Article 34 of the Convention, the effective protection of the right to individual application, to which one could add, for the lawyers in the room or online, Articles 1, 19 and 32 of the Convention.
Well, it's clear from that statement that the UK will be in breach of its international legal obligations if it refuses to comply with Rule 39 orders, which isn't surprising given the government's own legal advice also states that failing to comply with Section 39 orders would be a breach of international law. And let's not forget the government's Rwanda bill actually seeks to disapply human rights. Don't just take my word for this.
It disapplies relevant sections of the Human Rights Act.
Just listen to that again.
It disapplies relevant sections of the Human Rights Act.
And he actually says it with a sense of pride. How many times do I have to say this? Human rights are universal. It's not for this government to pick and choose who they should and should not apply to. And the Rwanda bill not only strips away basic human rights from people seeking safety in this country, it actually puts all our rights at risk. Because if this government can just snatch away basic human rights from any section of society whenever it pleases, then none of us has rights, just privileges that can be taken away by people in power whenever they want. Is that the kind of country we want our children to grow up in?
That is novel, that is contentious, but that's what we're about.
It just gets worse.
It deems Rwanda safe using a notwithstanding clause. Why? We haven't done that before.
But the Supreme Court has ruled that Rwanda is not a safe country to send refugees to. The government's Rwanda bill makes clear all decision makers will have to treat it as safe and bans the courts from considering whether it is safe in future, regardless of what evidence anyone is faced with that shows it isn't. Just think about that. Parliamentary sovereignty does not give the government the power to determine a barefaced lie is the truth. It's incomprehensible.
The bill seeks to reverse, by statute law, a finding of fact by the highest court in the land, the Supreme Court. It therefore creates a legal fiction. Its title, The Safety of Rwanda Asylum and Immigration Bill, gives the game away. According to the bill, Rwanda is safe, even if it isn't safe, simply because the government, through the bill, says it's safe.
This is quite simply a shameless power grab that will put the government above the law. And it's not a one-off. The Rwanda bill is part of a clear pattern of the government attempting to shut down the ways in which we can all challenge its decisions. It's given the police almost unlimited powers to shut down protests and arrest demonstrators. It's forced through protest regulations it had no power to create after Parliament had rejected them. And it's passed laws to stop people from striking for better working conditions and block millions of people from voting in elections.
It's very clear what we're about.
Being able to simply override the Supreme Court is an incredibly dangerous move that will essentially let this and all future governments do whatever they please. It's got to be stopped.